In today's video, we're going to be making a watercolor, very simple watercolor card. And for the layering pieces, I'm using my dies from BeeBee Craft. At first, I was going to use the small one with the larger square, and I decided that I actually wanted something a little bit bigger, so I did go ahead and use that larger square, and I cut my watercolor paper. I do want to tell you this is Canson XL watercolor paper. If you want a really good price on it, go to Walmart. I actually wish I had bought another pad of it because our Walmart here doesn't have any more of it. Anyway, I digress. So you're going to need to gather up your supplies, basic supplies, in my case paintbrush, watercolors, cardstock, pattern paper, some sentiment stamps, a stamp for the focal point, and I'm going to be using some archival ink to stamp on the watercolor paper, mostly because this image I'm going to be using, which is from Stampin' Up!, it's retired. It's really retired. It's 20 years retired, but it's very small, and I'm afraid I would lose the detail if I tried to stamp and then emboss it, so that's why I'm doing that. Now, like I said, I did cut my cardstock ahead of time, so let's go ahead and do the stamping of our main piece. I have 10 of these cut. I'm going to be going to a ladies' weekend crop in July, which I am looking forward to. And so I'm actually making some card kits up so I can just sit and relax and color or stamp and color whatever I want to do for the weekend. I am very excited about that. I'm going to just eyeball this and put it in the center. You could always cut an extra one of these out of regular just typing paper and then fold it into quarters so that you would have a idea of where dead center is. That looks pretty good. This is an old-fashioned rubber stamp, folks. They don't make them like this anymore. Even the rubber stamps that they make are not this good quality. So here's our image. I could have used a stamp positioner and lined that up and stamped it a second time, but for the purposes of today's video, it's fine. These are Winsor & Newton watercolors, and I purchased mine from Blick Art Supply. I got a really good price on them. I normally have been using some much less expensive watercolor paints. This is just clean water in a spray bottle. These are just ordinary brushes. I think they range from a number 2 to a number 6. They are natural hair. They are not synthetic, so they don't lose their little ends. I'm not sure what you call them. I'm still a beginner. But I'm going to use these for today's watercoloring. I like to start at the bottom of my image and work my way up. I also usually have a baby wipe pretty handy to clean my brush off in between colors if I want to use the same brush. This green is much too dark, so I'm just going to add a little white to it.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Oh, yeah. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Yeah, let's go. Be free with me. Oh, come on and let's go. Let's be free with me. Yeah, be free. Be free. Be free with me.
The stamp set I'm using today is from Simon Says Stamp. And this one says, "Thinking of you today." That's going to work out very nicely. I'm going to condition this just by rubbing it in my fingers. When they are manufactured, sometimes they have a little bit of a film that does keep them from stamping correctly. I'm also going to stamp this with an archival ink. This is Ranger Archival. And my stamp is going downhill, so we're going to fix that. If you have a grid mat on your work surface, I do not. It's easier to do it like that. So what I'm going to do is just eyeball it using the lines on my block to fix my mistake. And it is indeed perfect. To put my card front together, I'm going to be using some wood glue from Gorilla. I think it's Gorilla Glue. If you get glue oozing out, go over that with a baby wipe. I'm putting this layer down towards the bottom third of the card. It's really important at this point to use a glue that is going to adhere properly to this very rough surface, which is another reason I decided to use the Gorilla wood glue. It's really nice because you do have a little bit more open time to work with it. It's pretty close. Yeah. If in doubt, measure it out. Now I'm going to take my glue and just put it down on the focal image. And this is actually a tiny bit too big for my scallop piece, so I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of 2 sides. No mistakes in stamping, only embellishment opportunities. And as you can see, that fits better, much better. Hold that in place for just a moment. I will leave links down below to the dies that I used in this project. I should have just used a smaller nesting square than I did, but as you can see, that was easily fixed. And this would just go onto a plain white card base, just like this. Now, if you want, you can stamp your envelope. I just am slipping a piece of paper inside of mine. I'm going to guesstimate where the address for the recipient is going to go. Before you mail this, you're going to want to set this with either a clear acrylic spray or hairspray. Hairspray works great. It will stop it from bleeding at all, and it will be really pretty when it goes through the mail. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share my videos on your social media. Stamp happy, be a blessing. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.